Howdy everybody, Frankie back again on YouTube. Okay guys, this is a change of plans on video. There was going to have a video night on a C45 provided by ICM Models. I ran into a little problem right there when I gave it a final prime coat. I ran into a couple of imperfections and I had to refill them again. So I'll show you on this here video here I'm showing right now. It's in place of the C45. And I'll bring out the kit and show it to you how much I got done on it and what I'll be doing on it next, and make a video of it when it gets to that stage. As of now, I went ahead and completed the well, it's not finished, not the final reveal, guys. I got a little ways to go before it's done, but I got the kit built in its entirety and I got it all primed as was last video. I assembled the top wing, let it dry 24 hours, and gave it another primer coat and let it dry. And after it dried, I went ahead and airbrushed some silver layer aluminum paint. It's kind of shiny a little bit though, but it's good aluminum paint. And I'll probably dull it out a little bit with some dull coat after it's been done. I will do a little weathering around the control surfaces and recess areas that show a lot of detail. I'll put a wash on here and there and tone it down a little bit here and there and decal it. And the last thing I'll do on it will be the flying wires and the engine. And the engine is comprised of 17 parts makes the engine. You got push rods, cylinders, and also your governor ring, and plus the prop. And like I say, guys, this is a very fast build. It don't take that much to build it. A novice could probably build this thing about an hour and a half if you have it done. And so I've been on for about 2 or 3 days, about 3 or 4 days I've been on this thing. And so it's kind of like an eager, fast build, but I still took my time on it. And right now it needs to be, needs to dry. And I'm going to start add the decals and do the weathering on it and finish up the build. This is the famous Fairey Flycatcher. It was one of the first shipboard aircraft used by the Royal Navy. And as discussed in the last video, video 1, flew the Illustrious, also the HMS Eagle, and the HMS Courageous. And there's probably a bunch of other carriers too, Ark Royal too. And a lot of them. And they were actually short-lived. They lived a pretty decent span until they were superseded by the swordfish, Fairey swordfish, old string bag it was dubbed for. And so that put the end to the Fairey Flycatcher. And funny thing about the undercarriage arrangement on this thing puts you in mind of the praying mantis. And my wife looked at it and said, I think it's got some funny looking wheels, Frankie. And I said, well, Ruthie, how do you mean it's funny looking? It says, the undercarriage looks like a praying mantis. And I looked at it and said, boy, you're right. I didn't notice that until you mentioned that. So she calls it the praying mantis, but it's the Flycatcher. And Flycatcher's waiting for us to take a look at her, and I'm going to go ahead and do another video of her. And then after that, it'll be the final reveal. So I've got 2 more videos coming up, so I want to get her at the stage of the decals and the weathering. The engine's in place, everything's done. And the last video will be the final reveal. That's why I add the flying wires, which I'll use fuse wire for that. The kit gives you about a good yard of stainless steel wire, probably 11 thousandths guitar string, music wire. They give you that much to rig both these kits to give you the value pack. So I think I was looking at it a while ago, it looks like it's a little bit too thick, too big for it, so I'll go ahead and use a fuse wire. So I got some armature wire, fuse wire, whatever you call it, stretch that with a couple pairs of pliers, make it straight. Take your dividers, divide how much the distance between this point A and point B, and cut very gingerly, and use some white glue. Glue it in its place and let it dry. Okay guys, we're going to take a look at the flycatcher here, and we'll come back to the video to yours truly and finish it up. There she is, guys, right in front of the kit itself. And it's all aluminum, as you can tell, and it's all painted aluminum. Here, silver aluminum. I mixed a little gray with aluminum right there, and to tone it down a little bit. It was a bright silver paint that I used. I toned it down a little bit, and it did its job. It's going to be toned down even more once I start putting the weathering on it. And you can tell this is a sporty little biplane for its day. The Royal Navy used them from 1923 up to 1934. And by probably around the spring of 1934, these were actually stricken from the Royal Navy. And this thing makes a beautiful little collection for the biplane enthusiast. And it's not a very big model. It's a good size. It's 1/4" scale. But can you imagine this thing was 1/72 scale? You're probably looking at a wingspan about like this, you know. It's very, very small. Probably about wingspan maybe about 4 or 5 inches. And in some way you can see the roots from the Fairey swordfish compared to the flycatcher. This is a very, very old kit, guys. This thing's probably over 60 years old. It's been around for a long time. And I don't have too many parts. I probably got the engines and 2 of the Browning guns they used, and the tires. They all been primed and airbrushed and ready to install. So I'm going to let this aluminum dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and start applying the decals to it. And after that I'm going to start laying down the wash on it, take out some panel lines, and give it a good buffing here and there. And lastly, add the flying wires, and she's good to go. So like I say, guys, this Aurora, I mean, it's not Aurora, but excuse me, guys, Lindberg, these value packs are pretty nice. I like them. I mean, you get 2 kits for the price of, virtually for the price of 1. And Lindberg is kind of surprising us. Once in a while they're coming out with some value packs here and there. And they got whole kinds there. I saw about 3 or 4 value packs down at the hobby shop. I think I seen the Measure-Fit 262 and a Stuka. And I had another one that had a Measure-Fit and a Spitfire, and the list goes on. So what they did, they reboxed an old Ringo kit into a Lindberg, so they got the molds. And at one time this thing was really a nice kit, because I built one of these a long time ago, fellas. It was I believe it was a Ringo kit. I think I paid a dollar for it, 98 cents it cost. And it came with 3 figures. Came with a pilot. It came with 2 ground members. It also came with like a carrier base. Look at a flat top base. It's almost like it's like a flight deck. All it is a base, a flight deck of an aircraft carrier. It was excellent. An excellent display piece. I was really hoping that when I seen this kit that they still incorporated that special feature in this kit like it was noted for, but highly likely they didn't. So to my surprise, which I wasn't surprised at all, that display piece goes to the kit and never came in the kit. So I imagine they've done away with that and say hell with it. And the rest of it they went for. So this is the famous Fairey Flycatcher, guys. English carrier-based carry-borne aircraft used in the early time of before World War II was underway. And it makes a very, very nice collection to anybody in mind who wants to build these old biplanes like the Bulldog and the Hawker Fairey, and the list just goes on. So this is a very nice little airplane, guys. It goes together very fast, fellas. I'll tell you. I mean, the fit issues, not very many fit issues in this kit at all. It goes together quite well without a fuss. And so let it dry and so to add the decals to it, the weathering, and finish up the build, and lastly will be the flying wires, which is going to be fun. And I got a nice little wooden plaque I'll put it on and get done. Okay, guys, we'll swing this camera back to yours truly and finish up this vid and discuss what I'll be doing now. Here he is, in the flesh. Okay, guys, that'll be it. That concludes video 2 of my winter build of the Lindberg kit of the Fairey Flycatcher in the glorious scale of 1/48. Next video is going to be tomorrow. I'll be working on the USS Ward. I want to get the galley deck all done tomorrow, and I want to get the foremast all done tomorrow and painted. And I'll make a video of that at that stage of construction. Then I'm going to start tuning up the 4 big funnels by adding grub wires around on top of the mast caps, and also guy wires all the way from the deck up to the stacks. And also going to put the flukes on the stacks where the exhaust goes through to the boiler casings. And so the stacks are going to be right after I finish up the galley. So anyway, guys, I think the video is going to be tomorrow. I'll have a video tomorrow. The USS Ward, so I'll be turning to on her, and I'll have the galley deck all done and the mainmast all done. Then I'll work on the stacks next and torpedo tubes. It's going to be a time-consuming job. So I got 12 of those jobs I got to be detailed up, and that'll be that. And I should have another tonight. While this is drying next, I'm going to go ahead and button up the fuselage of my Wellington bomber. I forgot to paint the flight engineer seat, which traces up and down. I painted it leather, and I had I had a commenter on the video I just posted today on the Wellington. He said that the insides were red. I said they weren't. I said I don't know where the red came from, but that geosanic framework, lattice work was all aluminum, and it was primed. It was primed with some kind of a gray primer that they used to keep it to preserve the metal itself. Then using dope and also black, use some kind of a black butyrate coating inside the canvas. And that was the interior of the Wellington bomber. It was all black inside, and black and aluminum. And so that'd be that. And I should have a video of that. I'm going to button up the fuselage this evening, and I should have a video of, that, of the Wellington probably by this Wednesday. And I should have a video tomorrow on the C-45. And I'm thinking about, instead of making that C-45 Expediter, a military version, I'm thinking about making a civilian job out of it. all yellow with a nice red trim on it. And talking about C45 provider, I'll show you how much I got done on it. I got it all together, guys, and what I've done, on this thing, I looked at it and I saw some imperfections in there, so I actually added a little more putty in there to sand that out quite well, and I ran into a couple right here where the wing joins. I want to tell you something about this kit, guys. There's some fit issues with this kit. That wing goes on with all the spars, the false spars that's molded in the kit, and all the engine, the firewall tubing that was used, that was adjacent to the undercarriage insulation, plus the engine balls that's out in the firewalls. They were a little big, and they put a lot of pressure against the wing, and the wing will not go on correctly here. So what you have to do, you have to go inside here and trim along the wing root. You got to trim the wing root on the fuselage only to make the difference of the wing. Then you have to fill same. Got a little imperfection right there. It needs to be filled in. Has to be sanded real well. Sanded right here, and also on top of the cockpit itself, and also the other sides. Shoot another coat of primer on it, and go ahead and finish up the finishing color. Okay, back to yours truly again. Sorry fellas, I forgot to show that a while ago, guys, you know, and when I had the Flycatcher over here, Flycatcher, and I should have moved out of the way and brought it down, but I didn't think about it until I mentioned it. Anyway, guys, so tomorrow I'll have a video of the C45 tomorrow. It'll be painted in the final color. And should I have that thing done probably later the time this week sometime. And the Flycatcher, I should have had the Flycatcher done by Wednesday. So that'd be 2 of them knocked out by then. And that'll be it, and by Wednesday I'll make another video of the Wellington. And so I got these builds going on pretty good, guys, to keep me out here, to keep me out of trouble here, and that'll be it. Okay, guys, it's time for Frankie Day to get out of here right now. I got a little work doing these models, and then I'll kick back and get me a fresh cigar and watch some videos tonight. Watch your guys' videos and see what's shaking. And there's a lot of great fellas out there that I miss very much. I haven't seen for a long time. I haven't seen Jake Cutler. I haven't seen I haven't seen Lynn, Brian, the Atomic Dog, Rebel Cloud 9, Panzerman builds bunkers. Like everybody just took a stab at tackle. Everybody's just gone. And I just wish everybody get back together again so we can have some fun. Okay, guys, this is Frankie Day signing off. May God bless always, always, always. Make Mama happy. And happy modeling. Please subscribe. And I love you guys very much. Catch you guys on the next video. So stay tuned for the C45, which is going to be the civilian Beach 18 tomorrow. And that'll be it. Okay, guys, it's Frankie Day signing off and getting out of here. Catch you later, boys. Catch you later, guys. You guys all take care now, fellas. Bye, guys.